We just hit 7,000 subscribers. I want to start this video by saying thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my weekly videos here on the Doug the Dog Guy YouTube channel. To celebrate this big milestone, I asked everyone on my email newsletter and on my Instagram to submit your questions about pet sitting, dog walking, and pet transportation for me. And this video right here is actually part 2 of this Q&A series. Part 1 came out last week, and every video in part 1 was centered around hiring and growing your team of pet sitters and dog walkers. In today's video, we're going to cover all of the questions that were submitted that were not hiring related. There are some really good questions for us to go over today, so I will put up a table of contents on the screen right now. That way you can jump around and go directly to the content that is going to be the most helpful for you. But before we get into these questions, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can make it to 8,000 subscribers soon. I like to do one of these Q&A videos at each big subscriber milestone, so make sure that you are on my email newsletter and that you are following me over on Instagram so you don't miss when I call for you guys to submit questions. My Instagram is Doug the Dog Guy Official, and then my website where you can go join my email newsletter for free is dougthedogguy.co. That is .co. And I'll put the links to those down in the description below. So with that being said, let's get into our first question. That is from Carmel, and she asked, how often would you raise your rates? And my general advice here is that you should raise your rates as often as you need to be able to cover all of your expenses and walk away from each day in the field offering your pet sitting and dog walking services feeling that you were paid what you were worth. If you're out there walking dogs and doing pet sitting and all of these other things and you feel that you are being underpaid, that is a fast track to getting burnt out. And then if you get burnt out, that is a fast track to everything falling apart around you. So with that being said, you generally don't want to raise your rates more than once or twice a year, and you typically don't want to do more than about 10% at a time. I'll tell you that at my business, Bad to the Bone Pet Care, we raise our rates every January, no matter what, and then we occasionally do another small price increase sometime in the middle of the year as well. I know that price increases can be very scary, so I'll add another note here and say that it is always better to have one client who respects you and pays you what you are worth rather than 10 who don't. And also keep in mind here that the prices of everything else in the world are going up around us, so our clients will expect our rates to go up as well. And anytime you do a price increase, I would highly encourage you to not give a lot of justification and explanations. When I roll out our price increases, the email simply says, "Hi client, thank you so much for sharing your pets with us. As of X date, our new rates will be X, Y, and Z. We can't wait to see your pets again in the future. Let us know if you have any questions." No explanations, no justifications. If you give them a justification, that is where they'll find something to poke a hole in and start pulling it apart and arguing you. So just don't even open that can of worms there. Carmel's second question is, would you add peak fees during busy seasons like July and August? Now, everyone's going to have a little bit different take on this, but my opinion is that you should not do that because it will cause confusion with your clients. Let's just say, for example, here that you contact a house cleaner and they tell you that to clean your home in April, May, and June, it's going to be $30 an hour. But then during July and August, it's going to be $55 an hour. And then the price is going to go back down to $30 an hour. As a potential client of theirs, you're going to sit back and say, this is a lot for me to keep track of. I don't really understand what's going on here. And then you're going to start feeling confused and overwhelmed. And what does a confused consumer do? They don't buy. You need to cut out the confusion and make things as simple as possible for your clients. Now, that being said, I do know some pet sitting and dog walking businesses that charge after hours fees for services after 5 p.m. or weekend fees. And I can see some of the pros in that. But again, it's going to just make things more complicated for your clients, and it's going to make your invoicing more complicated as well. So just weigh out the pros and cons for your business and your clientele, and then make a decision based off of what will be best for you. Carmel's third question here is, would you always get payment in advance? This is a very simple yes, absolutely. My own personal payment policy at Bad to the Bone is your services are not confirmed until full payment has been submitted and received. And I do think that that should be the standard and the norm for any pet sitting and dog walking business. I am very passionate about this question. I could talk about it all day. So I'm going to cut myself off right now, and I will tell you to go watch the video that I made on this exact topic. I go into all of the reasonings about why it is so important to get payment up front in that video. So I will link that down in the description below. And while we're talking about invoicing and payments, if you guys need a streamlined, really great way to keep track of your scheduling requests, your payments, your clients' notes and instructions, and be able to prove to your clients what you did and when you did it through visit report cards that include GPS tracking and a timer, among other things, I would highly encourage you to check out Time to Pet. Time to Pet is the software that I use for my own business. I've used them for over 5 years, and I would not be able to manage my team of 30 plus pet sitters and dog walkers without Time to Pet. So head over to timetopet.com/Doug to save 50% off of your first 4 months. Again, that is timetopet.com/Doug to save 50% off of your first 4 months. Carmel's fourth question for us is, are there any courses that you would recommend to enhance our skills as a pet sitter? And there are a lot of really great different courses and other educational opportunities available to us as pet professionals. I actually have made a full extensive video covering my favorite course options. That is actually over on the Time to Pet YouTube channel. So I will link that video down in the description as well. But the 2 courses that I would really highly urge everyone to look into are, for one, a pet CPR and first aid course. I think this is very important information that anyone working with animals should know. I did the online course through Pro Pet Hero, and then I also am a big fan of Fear Free. The Fear Free certification course really teaches you how to protect the pet's emotional and mental well-being, which I think is something that is often overlooked, but is something that is very, very important. And all of that being said, most of the pet sitters and dog walkers that I know are actually really good on their pet care knowledge, Where they really need more help is on the business operations side. So, as you're thinking about courses and other educational opportunities, I would say to not just focus on pet care specific courses, but to really think about marketing courses and SEO courses and other things like that that will allow you to actually grow and operate your business in a more sustainable way. Our next question is from Aubrey at Powhatan Paws Pet Sitting. And she asked, if you are boarding dogs in your home and you have to go leave to walk some other dogs, what do you do with those dogs that you're boarding? And my advice to you would be to put them in a crate. I never want any dogs that I'm boarding here in my home to have unrestricted and unsupervised access to my home and to my own pets when I'm not around. So those dogs always go into a crate in a separate bedroom when I'm not here. Now, if the dog is like older and really mild and maybe not used to the crate anymore, or maybe they never were crate trained, I would say to at least use baby gates to, again, just make sure that they are contained in one area and they don't just have free range of your whole home that way. But I would really advise crates. Our next question is from Susan at Waggy Walks. And she said, I have a hard time managing the client who says their dog only needs short visits or no overnights when they are out of town. This may be true or it may not be true, and perhaps even what the dog is used to. I just cannot seem to not worry, and I feel anxious if I am not there more frequently. How do I let that go so I'm not so exhausted after every job? And I think this is something that every pet sitter I know kind of goes through and struggles with to a certain extent. And I think it's important for us to remind ourselves that every family is going to have different beliefs about their pets. We can't try to force our own beliefs and our feelings on a family. We can educate them, we can try to push them towards, better options and better alternatives, but we have to be respectful and we just have to remember that everyone is different. Everyone treats their pets differently. I would recommend that you have minimum requirements for your pet sitting services. Just for example, at my business, we require cats to be checked on at least every 24 hours. A lot of clients will call in and say, I just need you to come in every other day or every third day to check on the litter box. We say, no, that is not what is best for your cat. We do have this minimum requirement. Then we also have minimum requirements for puppies based on their week of age, on how many hours they can be left alone. And then for full grown, happy, healthy dogs without any special needs, we do have a minimum requirement of a visit every 12 hours. That's how I do it at my business. That is what I am comfortable with. You may want to be more strict. You want to be more relaxed about this. But either way, I think you should have a written policy with these minimum requirements. Kyra from Paw in Line asked, how do I make sure that I'm setting my dog walking business up for success while I am stepping away? This is a really big question with a lot of things to cover here. So what I'll say is that it really comes down to three things in my mind, which is first, the structure of your business. Second, the systems and processes that you have in place. And then third, the people that you're hiring to bring this structure and the systems to life. And I actually posted a video while I was pet sitting out in Oregon just a few weeks ago covering this exact topic. The whole video is really centered around how I am able to manage my pet sitting and dog walking business remotely. And I talk about these three things in detail. So I'll link that video down in the description as well. Kelly from Kelly Cares asked, how do you know when it's time to ask for help with your business? Kelly, I love this question because I think all of us need help. All of us deserve help. The longer that I've been in business, I've been in business for 10 and a half years now, the longer that I go about this, the more that I really realize and think about the fact that we should all be asking for help regularly. We should all have some kind of a network and support system that we can rely on, whether that's your friends and family or other local pet sitters and dog walkers that you've networked with, or maybe an online group that you've joined. We all need help. We all need support all of the time. Don't be afraid to ask for it. That's why I make these YouTube videos. That's why I have the email newsletter. That's why I offer coaching and I have the hiring courses, because I know that we need help and I want to help in any way that I can. So just know that you're not alone. Know that there are people out there who are sending you love and positivity and that are here to support you. Kelly also asked, what do you do during house sits to make sure that you don't get bored? And I kind of laughed when I read this question because I don't know how to be bored. I wish that I did know how to be bored, but like I'm like a squirrel. I'm constantly like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to be there. Like I have all these ideas just like rushing through my brain all of the time. So I'm always biting off more than I can chew. I always have like 10 projects in the pipeline. So I don't know how to answer this question for you. I don't know because I don't think I've ever been bored a day in my life. And especially at house sits and pet sits, that's time that, I'm interacting with the dogs a lot. And I'm always trying to think of like other special things I can do for the pets while I'm there. And I'm always working on my business while I'm at house sits. If you've done everything that you can do with the pets and you're sitting there thinking, what do I do now? That's a great time to write a blog post, to go onto your website, or to draft and schedule some social media posts for your business, or reach out to some other businesses that you haven't networked with and start scheduling those meetings. Or there's always something to do. I'm probably not the right person to be answering this question for you. Before we get to our last question here, I will ask you again to please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my weekly content, and share any questions that you guys have down in the comments below, and I will spin those into future videos here in the coming weeks, or I'll save them for the next Q&A video. But let's just keep the convo rolling there in the comments. I love just building this community and interacting with you guys in the comments. So with that being said, our last question is from my friend Michelle over at Dogco Launch. And she asked, what do you think our biggest obstacle in the pet care industry is going to be over the next decade? And I love this question. And before I answer it, I will urge you guys to go join Michelle's free Facebook group. It is called Grow Your Daily Dog Walking Business with Dogco Launch. I'll link it down in the description below. She very often runs really cool free marketing challenges, and she's always posting really helpful content for us in there. So I'm very active in that Facebook group, so I'll link it down below. And I actually thought about this question a lot over the last couple of days before filming this video, because there are a lot of challenges and a lot of opportunities for us in the pet care industry right now. And what I think our biggest challenge, our biggest obstacle in the pet care industry over the next decade will be is larger businesses with more money, making it harder for the smaller guys to compete. I do think that this is also an opportunity for us in the pet care industry. You know, having more money and larger businesses gives us more validity as an industry and opens up some other opportunities there. But, you know, it is going to make it harder for your average solo pet sitter and dog walker to really compete and to participate in the marketplace. So that's just my opinion on that. I would love to get y'all's opinion down in the comments below on what you think our biggest obstacle is. But thank you guys so much for getting the Doug the Dog Guy channel to 7,000 subscribers. So honored to be here. I said in the last Q&A video that I truly never thought that anybody would ever watch these videos when I started posting 4 years ago. So to know that we're at over 350,000 views with over 7,000 subscribers is absolutely mind-boggling to me. I'm just truly humbled and grateful to be here and for the opportunity. So with that, I'm Doug the Dog Guy, reminding you to stay positive.